Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Want to say our praises be to Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles, Wazaquanium of Great Millstone of Ruel, Shalom to the sincere brethren, Akim out there across the four winds, the four corners of the globe, pushing the truth, the good news of Yahweh Shai, proclaiming salvation to the elect, which are to the elect of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and proclaiming the downfall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man and his wicked empire. So as you can see, this is like a flyover of New York City, in particularly Manhattan, which is what we locally here in New York City call the city. The Manhattan, particularly Midtown and Lower Manhattan, where a large portion of the skyscrapers and so on are, man. Of what you can see, to the average person, it's so-called beautiful, man. You know what I mean? People come from out of town, tourists, you have different family, and they're all in awe by the New York City skyline, the tall buildings. Even me, when I first came up to New York City, a little bit more than a decade ago, hey, you in awe of these things, man. You seen it in person, you like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Especially me, I never seen a building like taller than like 4 or 5 floors, man. When you come and see these tall ass skyscrapers, these tall ass buildings, everything is glass. Like what you seeing right here, man. It's all so-called beautiful, man. You understand? But guess what? All of this is going to be turned and melted and turned into ashes and dust, man. You understand? Because, hey, this place is due for judgment. And it's, guess what? New York City, specifically the island of Manhattan, but all of America really, but dealing with Manhattan is built upon the blood of the Native Americans and the Negroes, man. You understand? Manhattan, that's a Lenape Native American word, of which the Lenape was massacred to gain that island of Manhattan. Guess what? Negroes were sold in slavery throughout Manhattan and throughout New York City. And to this day, we catching hell. All the tribes. Puerto Ricans came here, Dominicans, so-called West Indians. This is like the epicenter of all the tribes, man, or the majority of the tribes here in New York. You have Mexicans, African Americans, Puerto Ricans, all the tribes, Colombians, you know what I mean, and all the different nations. This is the epicenter of the melting pot of Babylon the Great. And this place, like you see the so-called, all the lights, you know, you have that song, a Jay-Z song, the Jay-Z song, New York, I'm big young, you know, which that song is witchcraft too, man. You play that song, you're rolling through the city like, oh shit. It puts you in a trance, man, so to speak, man. But guess what? All of this is gonna be ashes to ashes, dust to dust, real soon, man. From the tallest of tall skyscrapers to the projects in the South Bronx, it's gonna be, or in terms of Manhattan, especially the projects of the Lower East Side or the projects of Harlem is going to be ashes to ashes, dust to dust, man. So this book of Malachi chapter 1 verse 1, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Come. This is the children of Israel, talking to the children of Israel. You know, Jake always like to say, well, if we the chosen, why we on the bottom, why we this? Well, you're on the bottom because what? Going back to the time of Moses, Joshua, you made that covenant and you broke it. You made a covenant to serve the Lord always, but you broke it. And you went a-whoring after other gods and philosophies. So you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. And really, the Lord had mercy upon us, man. As guess what? We could still be in hardcore slavery to this day, but the Lord lifted that. And gave us easement from that hardcore oppression, man. You understand me? That's what the Lord's final judgment is in store in these last days and times, which is the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to be the final, basically the final judgment upon Jake, particularly the 2/3, man. Because after that, Israel is going to be perfect. The elect is going to be saved, and 2/3 is going to be judged, destroyed, judged severely in the times of Jacob's trouble that are upon us. But nonetheless, Jake loved talking shit over. If the Lord loved us, you went off, man. Wherein hast thou loved us? The Lord loved us because we still here, man. Because if it was up to Esau, Edom, if it was up to Esau, Edom, and the heathen nations, we would have been done away with. We would have been totally devoured. But the Lord had mercy upon us, man. And the Lord did not allow that, man. You understand? The Lord surely did not allow that, man. Hey, that's Grand Century right there. Hey, man, New York City, man, is like a thoroughfare of the entire planet. You know what I mean? You see it on movies. You see it everywhere. But guess what? The fame and the glory is going to be turned into ashes to ashes, dust to dust. A great judgment awaits New York City. A great judgment awaits America in totality, man. I have loved you, said the Lord. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Lord, yet I loved Jacob and I hated Esau. So how the Lord loved us? Because he chose Jacob. And he hated Esau. Who is that? The twin brother of Jacob. So that's how the Lord loved us. Because ultimately, we the children of the promise. We the children of Jacob. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So at one point in time, Esau was down at the bottom, man. Specifically going back to the Dark Ages. When Esau was pushed up in the caves of Europe. He was known as what? The beast man, the wild man. Like to say the Neanderthals, man. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Esau said we are impoverished, kind of going into the Renaissance when Esau was coming back into the power, which Renaissance meaning rebirth. Whereas Edom said we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And this is a prime example. He built up his empire in Europe, but particularly here in America, man. You know what I mean? He built up these different cities. And construction consistently going up here in Babylon, man. Here in New York City. You understand? And this is like one of the top skylines on the planet with all the skyscrapers, so on and so forth. So Esau built up this kingdom, built it up here in America. He built up Manhattan. You understand? He built up Los Angeles, Chicago. All these different cities in America. Even London, Madrid, Paris. All these different places off of what? The enslavement and the robbery of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's all these different Edomite countries and kingdoms were built up, man. Colonialism, the slave trade. You understand? Neo-colonialism, which is what's going on right now. With Esau oppressing Jake and Ham in Africa, man. In all throughout Africa, man. Draining the resources. The French is known particularly for that. The Belgians, the Belgiques. What do we call people from Belgium? People of Belgium, man. What so-called King Leopold did out there in the Congo in the early 1900s. You don't think there's a judgment for that, man? All these Edomite kingdoms, man, were built up to their glory and their prestige and their riches through the rape, robbery, and murder, particularly of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They're really of all these different nations, but the most robbery and heinous acts that continue even to this day is what? It's what he did to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. As you check it out here in America, the greatest glory of all his kingdoms is Esau going to give America back to the Native Americans? Is Esau going to give you Negroes reparations? No. He's going to continue to keep you on the bottom, man. The scriptures speak about the prey departed not. We are prey to Esau, Edom. We still in slavery, man. It's just corporate slavery, man. That's why you have a social security, a birth certificate. You still in slavery, just a different slavery by another name, basically. It's gone corporate. You understand? You work at 9 to 5, you drive Uber, whatever you may do. Even if you're a millionaire, you're an MBA, you're still a slave to the so-called white man. Because you what? You have to put your money in his banks. You understand? You still have a social security. You have to abide by his laws, so on and so forth. You can't have more than one wife. Here. But that's to show you, man, that this man ain't the man of the scriptures, man. He's against what the Lord has called good. Most importantly, he's against the children of Israel, which is ultimately what he's supposed to. We're not mad at Esau. We really mad. The brothers in the know. That's what scripture say, oppression makers a wise man mad. The brothers in the know. We're not even mad at Esau Edom in terms of the fact like, oh, he's doing the wrong thing. We really more so mad at you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans 2/3 of you that you can't see it, man. It's like, damn, what's wrong with you niggas, man? Ecclesiastes 7:7, because Esau just doing his job. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 7, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And who is a wise man? The men that awaken the truth, know the Israelites, know who they are, know their culture, know their history. Knowing that we the Israelites from the tribe of Benjamin, from the tribe of Levi, so on and so forth. Knowing the history, well, this Manhattan was established upon what? The blood of the Native American, the Lenape people. Or Wall Street was one of the first slave trading posts, man. Was a slave trading post here in New York, man. You understand? New York had slavery too, man. Big time, man. Racism was and prejudice was big here in New York City, man. In Manhattan, in all the boroughs, man. You understand? And don't talk about when you go to upstate New York. Different places up there is racist as hell, man. Upstate New York, man. But dealing with the city, as you know, everybody like to fancy the city, Manhattan, Brooklyn. But these were major slave trading posts, man. Because guess what? New York City is a coastal city. Any coastal city, what happens there? Commerce, man. Trade, merchants. And what was the big merchandise of that time? Going back, you Negroes, man. And even you Native Americans also, man. As the New England, the Northeast, this was big upon the slave trade of the Native Americans, as it was like a back and forth between England and that's why they call it New England and the 13 colonies, man, here in the Northeast, which New York is part of that region, man. So you Native Americans, a lot of you was going back into slavery in England, man. And you watch a lot of the Native American movies about the colonists coming, the pilgrims coming to America. They shows you that Native Americans going back to England, man. You understand? This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 7. And we know this and we understand. So any man in his right mind, you're going to be pissed off about this, man. Now we're not telling you to go out there and fight and beat up Edomites, but spiritually you be like meditating like, yeah, man. Once that time hit, man, the Lord give us that power. The Lord put us back in that position. We're going to have no problem what is this, Psalms 137? We're going to have no problem, man, putting you Edomites in captivity and executing the judgment due unto you, man. And we're going to have no problem seeing Babylon, America be destroyed for all the wickedness that has been done in the midst thereof, especially upon our people. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 7, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. And a gift destroyeth the heart. Talking about all you sellout jakes, man. So a lot of you jakes, you come into some money or you make some money here. Oh man, a lot of you just simple-minded, man. You're in the projects, you're not paying the rent, or you're on food stamps, so you think the so-called white man is okay, man. Oh yeah, the slavery was in the past, so nah, nigga. The white man, there's still a great judgment for what the so-called white man did to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. So better is the end of America than the beginning thereof, man. Better why? Because this is the end of our captivity. The patient in spirit, that's a hopeful elect, than the proud in spirit, better than the proud in spirit. Who's the proud in spirit? Esau, Edom. What does he call his Marines? A few the proud, the Marines, man. And everybody know the so-called white man is the most proud. That's why you go throughout the earth, you look at Donald Trump. That's like the proudest Edomite on the planet right now, DJ Trump. Going throughout the earth, conquering, destroying, raping, pillaging lands, man. You know what I mean? Oppressing the peoples of the earth. Scripture say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked, so like when the wicked bear really, people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice, man. Is the earth in rejoicing or mourning? Mourning, upheavals, so on and so forth, man. You understand? But we understand these things must be in order for the end to come. This is because Second Ezra chapter 15. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse Slakia. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, destruction. For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Kind of that's what we see right now. Civil unrest, man. Racial wars, class wars. Even you see what's going on with the ICE protests, man. For there shall be sedition among men. Meaning, really, sedition goes into what? Coming up against the government that be, man. So you have these different militia groups, you know what I mean, both on the right and the left, that's going to come up against each other and come up against the politicians, man. You understand? Planning to what? Come up against the government. And really that's what's going on, man, because everybody calling these ICE agents, what? The Gestapo. They're saying the government is against the people. That's what the left saying. All this left and right shit. You know what I mean? And ultimately each side has their own radicals. And they're gonna be coming up against each other, and they're gonna be coming up against the government, man. On each side. Whether the left is gonna come up against the Republicans, the right is gonna come up against the Democrats, so on and so forth, man. Which is a beautiful thing. And you're gonna just have people straight up coming up against these different government, from local politicians to the top senators, even the president, man. Well, that's why they're going to have to bring in martial law and these things, man, to what? Restore order. Which all goes back into the Illuminati, what? Agenda of what? Order ab chaos, man. You understand? Order ab chaos. This shit here look like AI, man. This ain't even New York, man. Now this part, that is New York. This is kind of bugged out. It looks like an AI version of New York, man. Because this is the Upper West Side. But that's to show you don't even know what's real anymore, man. Yeah, that's the Henry Hudson, but you don't even know what's real. It's another reason Esau gotta go, man. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Cons, like I was saying, man, it's going to be up peoples against the powers that be, these different politicians, senators, mayors, even president, which half of the country hates DJ Trump. Half of the country hates DJ Trump, man. You know what I mean? And you have this guy, Mamdani, the mayor of New York, he's in there, and he's supposed to be against Trump. So even within the political echelon, people are divided, man. This is a whole divided kingdom, which I did videos on that before, earlier. You know what I mean? So it's a lot, man. The Lord have all type of shit going on, man, where you just gotta try to keep up, man. All type of different details and faculties of the prophecies is popping off, man. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. That's what they're going to do as they will. All that break loose, man. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Can. So you're going to try to go into Manhattan. You from the Bronx try to go to Manhattan, or you're going to try to leave Manhattan and go to the Bronx or to Brooklyn, so on and so forth. You're not going to be able to get in and get out. And with New York City's different boroughs, you're not going to be able to get in and get out of different boroughs, man. You understand? And this place is a concrete jungle, man. So once the food and that stuff can't come in, hey, it's gonna be great pain, great starvation, great famine, great unrest and upheavals here in New York City, man. In the 5 boroughs. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Great pride, which New York City has the greatest pride parade for the alphabet community in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, there's a judgment for that, man. There's a great judgment. This is a prideful city nonetheless. It's named what? The Empire State. Meaning what? The top state, the top city of Babylon the Great, the proud kingdom. So what makes this the proudest city in the world, basically, man? And they ain't proud to be righteous. They're proud in wickedness, man. They're not proud in serving Yahweh Yahweh Shai. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be troubled, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses. Kind of New Yorkers are already known for being grimy, man. And you have a whole lot of grimy Negroes and Latinos here in New York, man. New York City, man. There's all type of projects. Hey, you could be on Billionaires Road. A project, the hood is like 5-10 minutes away. These different neighborhoods, and even nice neighborhoods, the hood is like minutes, no more than 15 minutes away, man. That's how New York City is set up, man. No more than 15 minutes, sometimes 5-10 minutes away. That's how New York City is set up. So you have a lot of grimy Negroes, Latinos, man. So when that time comes, man, it's gonna be havoc upon especially you uppity, yuppie, liberal Edomites here in New York, man. Here in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? What is the Park Slope? You know what I mean? Queens, even in Long Island, man. It's gonna be, which them Long Island Edomites, which a lot of them is Jakes anyways, they're a little bit more tough around the edges than you Edomites in the city, man. But hey, you Edomites in the city, like Manhattan, you gonna be cooked food, man. For Jake, man. For them grimy ass Jakes from the Lower East Side, from Harlem, them Dominicans from the Heights. You gonna be cooked food, man. You know what I mean? You different Edomites in Brooklyn, you gonna be cooked food for them niggas out there in Brooklyn, man. Them West Indians and African Americans and Haitians, man. You know what I mean? You different Edomites in the Bronx and Westchester connecting right there, New Rochelle, you know what I mean, White Plains. You're gonna be cooked food for them grimy ass Dominicans and Puerto Ricans in the Bronx, man. You get the picture, man. Cause hey, New York City, they have some of the most grimy Jakes, man. And that time we're gonna bring out the grimiest nature of Esau Edom, man. You understand? How could I forget Queensbridge, man? you Edomites in Queens. You're gonna be food for a lot of these grimy Jakes in Queensbridge, Left Rack, South Jamaica, Queens. Hey man, it gonna be lit. Hey, New York, what you really doing? New York gonna be the latest city in terms of shit popping off, man. You understand? Because this is the biggest city and this is the most so-called diverse, and this is a city with some of them with the highest population of Jake, Negroes and Latinos, man. Millions upon millions of Jakes, and even millions and millions of other nations, man. So you're gonna get it popping here in New York City, man, and the surrounding areas. And then if you want to throw in Jersey, Newark, you want to show in parts of Pennsylvania, you want to show in parts of upstate New York, Westchester, it gonna be popping here in New York City, man. And because of the great pride, these cities gonna be trouble, man. A lot of these skyscrapers, they're gonna be invaded by different Jakes or different. It's gonna be a lot, man. Different, probably armed groups. It's gonna be a lot going on, man. But the city's gonna be trouble, man. It's not gonna be business as usual for the most part, man. I don't really see that, man. I don't really see that. Maybe in certain parts of the suburbs or something where Esau lives, where they could cordon off and protect that. But as far as the proper city, it's gonna be all hell breaking loose, man, where they're gonna have to bring in the martial law troops to restore order, man. That's what's coming, man. But ultimately, this place is gonna be what? Faced with that nuclear destruction, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So there you have it, man. It's gonna get like the wild, wild west out here, man. And like I said, New York City has some of the most grimy Jakes in the world, man. So you already know how Jake is gonna get down, and rightfully so. The Lord gonna put that spirit upon Jake to remember slavery. Do you remember the days of slavery? Jake gonna be remembering all the hell that you Edomites done put upon Jake, man. The Puerto Ricans gonna be remembering, the Dominicans, the Negroes, the so-called West Indians, Haitians. They're gonna remember all the hell that Esau, even the so-called white man, so-called white people put upon them, man, and their ancestors, and they're gonna go buck wild, man. So going back to the book of Malachi. Malachi chapter 4, Malachi chapter 1. Malachi chapter 1 And that's a spirit. I didn't intend for this lesson to go that long, but the spirit, it gotta come out. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. For whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, thus say the Lord of hosts, they shall build. Can't say they build. Hey, that's a spirit, man. That fucking construction site, crane, high as hell in the air. They shall build, they shall build desolate places. Thus say the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call on the board of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. So they shall build, but the Lord will throw all this shit down, man. All your skyscrapers, man, gonna get thrown down and burned with fire. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, which you had established the proud is Esau, yet all that do wickedly, Esau is the seed of wickedness, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that he shall leave them neither root nor branch. So Esau, Edom rulership is his rulership is gonna be totally devoured, man. And this is one of his head places of rulership here in New York City, Manhattan, man. This is one of his main financial centers, along with London, man. Which a lot of that London is established in London, and I want to branch off to New York City, man. Where he took it to another level out here, man. But all of that is going to burn up and devour, man. All of that is going to get crashed. What the scriptures say, woe unto you rich men, man. Your riches are cankered, man. They are moth-eaten, man. They are corrupted. As these are all ill-gotten gains, man. New York City, and America in general, is established upon the blood of the Native Americans and the Negroes. You know what the scriptures say about that, man? Amos 9 and 8. Amos 9 and 8. Look up Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not earthly destroy the house of Jacob. Who is the sinful kingdom? That would be applied to America, Babylon the Great. Precept. Yeah, this is the book of Habakkuk. This is what I was really thinking about. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Kind of, that's funny because Jake called, like when Jake get locked up, they said they gotta call the town, which basically means the city. It might be upstate or whatever, Rikers Island, they gotta call the town. Meaning the city back in the regular population. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. And that's Esau, Edom right there, man. A town and a city, that's how New York was established, with blood and iniquity. Rape, robbery, and murder, which is still being perpetuated to this day, man. Being perpetuated to this day. Close out with this precept, man. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18, verse 19, which this is Revelation 18 is a fire chapter, man, which basically goes into the total downfall and destruction, the end time downfall and destruction of America, man, of Babylon the Great. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city. This time of the nations talking in relation to America, because they're going to destroy America, but it's going to be bittersweet for them, because what? They made money with America, man. This is the richest kingdom or country upon the planet, man, America, man. Alas, alas, that great city, wherein we were made rich, all that had ships, wherein were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of our costliness, so the trade and commerce. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. For in 1 hour, this place, man, that skyline, you probably see billionaire, yeah, that's billionaires row right there, towards the upper right. It's going to be what? Made desolate, man. This place is going to be made desolate, totally destroyed, man. So yeah, you be in awe of the skyscrapers, the so-called beauty, especially at nighttime. But guess what? There's a judgment that awaits this home, man. There's a judgment that awaits this great city, man. has at the foundation thereof is nothing but blackness, death, destruction, and bloodshed. So there's a judgment that awaits this so-called great city, New York, and really the whole city of America, which is the whole country of America. Hey, so that, hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Going to say our praises be to Abanawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Havakakodash. The honor to the apostles was the quantum of great millstone rule well. Shalom to the elect. Kwame Ashala, Abad Shalom.